Okay, so today's demo is about the architectural scale and how to use them. So if you go to the module on Canvas, you'll be asked to print out the handout, and this is what you'll get. So you'll get scale exercise where I want you to draw some lines at a certain length, and you'll get a drawing, architectural drawing like this, a floor plan, another floor plan, and more plans for you to measure. So you're actually going to print this out. It should print in scale if you just print out on regular 8.5 by 11. And so we'll start with this page first. So here is your architectural scale. And what the architectural scale does is that it'll help you to measure and create scale drawings. So for instance, if I ask you to draw a house using a 1/4 inch equals 1 feet, then you're going to use the 1/4 inch side. And a couple of things that you need to notice about the scale here. Let me bring it up here. So when you see a 1/4 inch, you'll see that right here it starts at 0. And you notice that the numbers on the bottom are where you have 92 at the top. So if you're going to read 1/4 inch scale, you're going to read from 0 going to your left. And so since the 0 is on the bottom, you're going to be reading the bottom numbers. So it'll be 0, and if that's a 2, then this is 1. So from here to here will be 1 feet in scale. From here to here will be 2 feet in scale, and on and on and on. So what does the top numbers mean? Well, if you go to the other side of the scale here, you'll see that it's 1/8 inch equals a foot. So 0 starts here, and you see how the 0 is on the top? So you're going to be reading the top numbers. So from 0 to here would be equal to be 4 feet. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4 feet. And so you have a lot of different kind of measurement scale. This is 1.5 inches equals a foot. So what that means, again, the 0 is at the top. So you're going to be reading the top number. So if you start from here to here, that's 1 feet. From here to here, that's 2 feet, right? And all the scales along this scale bar will have kind of subdivided measurements that goes from 0 to the opposite side. What this is basically is taking, if it's 0 from here to here, and if that's 1 feet, it's also from here to here, that's equal to 1 feet. But they're subdividing it for you a little bit more finer, if you will. That way, if you need to draw a line that's, let's say, in a 1.5 inch scale, you want to draw a line that's 1 feet, let's say 3 inches, then from here to here, that's 1 feet, and then from here to here, that would be 3 inches, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. So you would draw a line from here to here, that would equal 1 feet, 3 inches. So that's how you would read an architectural scale. So what I'd like you to do is to again get a blank sheet of paper, and I am not going to measure this time around, but you will be creating a title block. Of course, for your project, I would like for you guys to measure this thing. So you will create a title block using the measurement from the previous handout. And then please follow these directions specifically. I'd like you to, from the edge of the title block, from this line here, I'd like you to take 1/2 inch. All right, so you're going to measure 1/2 inch in real scale, if you will. So I'm going to get the 1 inch scale, and then if this is 1 inch, from here to here is 1/2 inch. So I'm going to take and you're going to draw a reference line that's 1/2 inch away from the edge. And that's where you're going to start your lines. So this is your starting point. And then you guys are going to draw for me a line. And the first line up here, which will be this one here. So I want you to take the 1/4 inch scale, and I want you to draw a line that represents 12 feet 6 inches. So how do you do that? So you'll find a 1/4 inch scale, and if I go from 0, and if I read the bottom lines, this is 12 feet. So from here to here, that will be 12 feet. But I want you to draw me a line that's 12 feet 6 inches. So from here to here, if that's 1 feet, and from here to here, that's 6 inches, because in 1 feet you have 12 inches. So you're really drawing a line from here to here at 12 feet 6. So I'm going to come in, make a tick mark like that. So I kind of know that's the beginning of my line, and that's the edge of my line. And then come in with a pen or a darker line. I'm going to use a pen so you guys can see. I need you to draw a line from dot to dot. So this line represents 12 feet 6 inches and 1/4 inch scale. So then you will also write 1/4 inch equals 1 feet, and this particular line is 12 feet 6 inches. And so you'll do the second line. I'm asking you to use a 1/2 inch scale on this handout. I'm asking you to use a 1/2 inch scale and make that line 11 feet 5 inches. So again, what I recommend is drawing a really light line so that you can measure that line. And then pick 1/2 inch scale. So here is 1.5 inch scale here. And we're going to draw a line that's 11 feet 5 inches. So if this is 0, and in the 1/2 inch scale, the 0 is at the top, so you're going to read the top line. So you got 4, 6, 8, 10. So this must be 11, right? So from here to 11, and then now I just have to count 5 inches going this way. So I don't know if you guys, I'm going to pull it up as close to the thing as possible. If this is 6 inches, 5 inches is right here, right below the 6. All right, so you're going to simply take 11 feet 5 inches, and then you're just going to darken in that line. And then of course you're going to take your architectural lettering and you're going to represent it, and you say this particular line and 1/2 inch equals 1 feet. This line is 11 feet 5 inches. And you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines for me coming down here in various lengths. So that will be project 1. And then the other project, or at least first part of the project, is you guys are going to actually take this drawing and you're just going to give me some measurements. So you guys are going to measure for me. I'm asking you what is the dimension from here to here, right? And of course, I want you to use 1.5 inches equals a foot scale. So this whole drawing, you're going to draw 1.5 inches equals a foot, or measure using 1.5 inches equals a foot scale. So you're going to measure this line for me. And really, in architecture, when you're dimensioning it, so this is a dimension line from here to here. This line is called an extension line, but the dimension line actually is where those extension line crosses. So you could either measure the actual part, or you could actually measure the dimension line. They're both going to be okay. So at 1.5 inch scale, this is, if that's 0, that's 1, 2, this is roughly 3 feet. So then you're going to write directly on the paper. You're going to say this is 3 feet long. And then you're going to measure a line from here to here. All right? So I'm going to do one more measurement. So we're going to stay within the 1.5 inch scale. So if I measure from that line to that line, it's actually measuring 5.5 inches. You'll see what I mean if you're using the scale correctly and you put the scale down from this line to that line, it should measure 5.5 inches. And if you can't see 5.5 inches, then you may not be on the right scale. All right, so you're going to use 1.5 inches equals a foot scale, and you are going to measure for me the width and height of this guy right here. You're going to measure for me the thickness of this thing here, which is that. You're going to measure for me the thickness of this plywood, which is right there. You're going to measure for me the overhang, which is from this tip to the edge of the plywood. You're going to give me that measurement. You're going to give me the height of this and the width of this. And you're also going to give me the thickness of this plywood and how thick that is. Okay, so use 1.5 inches equals a foot. And I like to see all these measurements measured out using your architecture scale. When you get to this particular example, the thing that I need you guys to be mindful of is the scale that I want you to use. I'm purposely changing the scales on you guys so that you guys learn how to flip the scale and get to the right scale factor. So this one we're using a 3/16 inch equals a foot. So what that means is you're going to flip your scale until you see 3/16, which is, you see it right here, 3/16. So, and then the zeros on the bottom, so you're going to be reading the bottom numbers. So you're going to measure, for instance, if I'm going to measure this line here, I'm going to measure from here to here, which is I'm measuring this wall to this wall. So you're going to put your 3/16 inch scale, and that is measuring 14, 15, let's see here, that's measuring 14, 15, and 14, 15 and a half. This is measuring roughly 15.5 feet. 15 feet 6 inches. And then you are going to measure for me from here to here. So I'm going to put my scale backwards here so I can see. So this is measuring roughly 4.5 inches. 4.5 feet. And from the door, so that's 6.5 feet. And that's measuring 4 feet. And really the trick would be, no, wait a minute, I'm missing 6 inches. 6.5. I guess making a mistake is always good. So this is actually 5. Sorry. So that when you add up all three of these numbers, it should equal up to 15 feet 6 inches, right? Because this, and this should equal that. So please be mindful of that, guys. So when you measure this, and that all three of these measurements should equal to that. All right, so use 3/16 inch equals a foot on this one. Then when you get to this full floor plan here, use an 1/8 inch scale equals to a foot, and please give me dimension lines on all the, or measurements on all the dimension lines that I'm asking for. And I believe that's it. Oh, and then you have one more at 1/4 inch equals a foot. So let me give you that example. So you're going to flip your scale until you get to the 1/4 inch side. You'll see that the 0 again is on the lower number, so you're going to read the bottom numbers. So when I measure this, This is measuring 12 feet. So that's 12 feet, 0 inches. Right? And then you're going to go around and give me measurements on all the different parts of the floor plan that I'm asking for. So that's how you read an architecture scale, and I'll see you on the next session.